Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's a great pleasure to be able to join you in celebrating a very special award given by the journal Territory, Politics, Governance for the best paper of 2020. My name is Chien Woon from the National University of Singapore, and I am the co-editor of Territory, Politics, Governance. So just to say a few words about the journal, Territory Politics Governance is an interdisciplinary journal published by the Regional Studies Association. It is committed to and creates a productive platform to explore issues and topics related to territory, politics, and governance broadly defined. Indeed, since its establishment, the journal has published original and high quality international scholarship, ranging from topics such as the politics of climate change to multi-level territorial governance in China to EU border regimes in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. So besides academic audiences, we also aim to reach out to policymakers, activists, and also other communities of practice. I'm really very delighted today to confirm and announce one of the two winners of the Best Paper Award of Territory Politics Governance for articles published in 2020. And the title of the winning paper is What is Policy Assemblage? And it is written by Dr. Glenn C. Savage from the University of Western Australia. So just to say a bit about the paper, this paper actually seeks to build on and clarify the growing scholarship within the social sciences, which conceptually and methodologically engage with assemblage thinking. So more specifically, right, it conceptualizes and defends an assemblage approach to show its relevance and utility to policy analysis. By synthesizing core threads from existing literatures, the paper actually identifies three theoretical and conceptual foundations central to a policy assemblage approach. So number one, relations of exteriority and emergence. Number two, heterogeneity, relationality, and flux. And finally, attention to politics, power, and agency. And together, these foundations actually signal a coherency to assemblage thinking and suggest that an assemblage approach has powerful potential, allowing researchers to see and explain things in ways that many established traditions in policy research do not. And by identifying foundations and offering examples of how each might be mobilized, the paper actually provides the beginnings of a framework not previously articulated in the systematic form, thereby inviting further reflections and discussions about what it means to undertake policy assemblage research. And I want to say that I personally really enjoyed the paper, especially how it provides a clear and cogent analysis and example to showcase what concrete differences assemblage theory can make to policy practice. So in this sense, it is not only academic in orientation, but really contains real-world relevance and implications as well. All right. Indeed, I'm also very happy to confirm that the referees were also particularly supportive and impressed with this fine piece of scholarship. So once again, my congratulations to Glenn, and I shall now pass the Zoom floor over to him. Glenn?
Thank you so much, Yuan, and many thanks to the whole editorial team of the journal. It's a really great honour to be receiving this award for my paper on policy assemblage. My motivation for writing this paper was to try and bring together a series of theoretical and conceptual threads that relate to what we might call an assemblage approach to the analysis of policy. As a researcher with an interest in globalization, policy mobilities, and the kind of power dynamics that inform these processes, I was drawn to the notion of policy assemblage. But as I note in the paper, despite a kind of explosion of interest in assemblage thinking and approaches, this ubiquity doesn't necessarily render things clear. And I found that the term policy assemblage was being variously defined and sometimes lacked conceptual strength or explanatory power. So my goal that I set out to achieve, which I soon realized was a fairly formidable job, was to try and take stock of the diverse interdisciplinary body of work that's in this space, and to try and locate some of those common foundations that you mentioned that we might say are central to an assemblage approach. So those foundations in the paper, though, they're not intended as a kind of tight framework, but what I present them as is an invitation to engage in further discussion about policy assemblage. And I argue that this is a field that's ripe for future development and evolution. So I should say, though, that writing the paper was at times very slow and arduous. There's a huge body of literature to draw on, but what kept me kind of plugging along was a sense, or at least a hope, that if I could bring these threads together into some sort of convincing argument, then it might actually make a new and useful contribution. So it's amazing to be recognised with this award, and to be told that the paper is important to the journal and to broader scholarship in the field. So again, I want to thank you and all of those who are involved in the marvellous work that the journal does. This is a real honour. Thank you.
Many thanks indeed, Glenn, for your sort of useful insights. Again, my heartiest congratulations on your fantastic achievement. It is really a great and engaging piece of scholarship that really exemplifies the core aims of the journal. So as an editor, I must acknowledge that the journal cannot function without the support of the referees, the journal's manager, as well as the wonderful staff at the Regional Studies Association for making all of these possible. So my sincere thanks to everybody who is involved in making Territory Politics Governance a success. Thank you very much and goodbye.